choked off. Cambodia badly hit by the impact on their biggest exports. Garments and footwear accounted for the $9 billion industry there. Until a few months ago, this sector provided work for 750,000 workers across 1,100 factories throughout Cambodia. In early April, more than 100 factories suspended production. That put nearly 62,000 workers out of a job. Equally grim, Vietnam's lowest export volumes since 2003, growing by a mere 0.5% in the first quarter, GDP half from the same period last year. A little surprised, the region is aching for supplies to get moving again. China may be open for business, but buyers in the US and Europe have cancelled their orders for now. So clearly, staying open for business is no guarantee of that business picking up. Cambodia's Commerce Ministry made an open appeal for international partners to honor their contracts. Now, can the garments and textiles industry here in Asia regain its shine as an economic growth driver? We asked one expert.
Textiles, garments and footwear is a very important part of the manufacturing sector for many of the countries in Asia, including the biggest economies such as mainland China, India, and in Southeast Asia. The textiles industry has become very important for countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, but it's also important in countries like Philippines and Indonesia. So this is a key part of the overall manufacturing sector, a key source of employment, and it's also an important export sector. So what we've seen is these tremendous disruptions both to supply and demand, creating a lot of shockwaves for the sector during the early part of this year as the pandemic has continued to spread across Asia and globally. What we're going to see in the coming months ahead is a lot of problems with new orders. We already saw that in the April manufacturing PMI surveys for China, where export orders for China dropped very dramatically for the month of April. And I think that kind of export order shock will continue in the coming months. Although I think when we look towards the second half of the year, going towards the fourth quarter, when the pandemic eases, we should start to see some recovery in orders coming out of the US and Europe. And Europe is already starting to relax its lockdown, so probably by the middle of this year, we should start to see at least some stabilization and then gradual improvement in export orders for the garments and textiles industry.
And that's your business update this hour. Back to you, Charlie. Thanks very much. Well, we are gonna get some sports news now. South Korea's professional sport is springing back into action. The baseball season has kicked off, while football and golf will soon follow suit. The Korean Baseball League is one of the first pro leagues around the world to return after a 5-week delay. South Korea endured one of the worst early outbreaks of the coronavirus outside China, prompting professional sports to suspend or delay their seasons. But the country appears to have brought its outbreak under control now, with no new local infections reported for a second straight day. CNA's Lin Yun-suk brings us this update from a baseball stadium in Incheon City.
Now, baseball is South Korea's most popular sport, but because of this COVID-19, the game this year it is being played very differently. The players have all the guidelines. They have been getting their temperatures checked twice a day when they got up this morning and just before they entered the stadium. Also, the players have been told that there will be no handshakes, there are no high fives, no speeding allowed, and also the umpire on the field, they will have to wear masks. And also, most importantly, is that there is nobody here watching the game. There are no fans here. Usually, it'll be so noisy, but because there are no fans, it is quiet. But there are cheerleaders here. The fans will be watching this online. The same way they are here, but this is a very different game. And South Korea really has a very different baseball culture where it's more like a festival, as someone was saying, with all the drummings and all the loud music. So I've been speaking to a lot of the baseball fans back in the U.S. and they've been saying they've been starving to see some live action. A lot of people being stuck at home, they really want to see the live action of not just baseball, but for other sports too. Here in South Korea, you do have this high technology, high tech going on, and so the fans out there won't be here, but if you get a chance, I met this one fan here, and she was showing me how online you can actually see the games. And so if you see on the main screen, that is what the main screen over there. But there are 9 different cameras being installed here, and they're all around the stadium. And so the fans will not just be seeing the main the screen itself, the game itself, but they can choose which angle they want to see. And in fact, once the cheering squad starts cheering, you'll also be able to see them. It seems like, you know, South Korea has been putting all this high-tech usage together, trying to see if they can get the fans here and feel like they're actually at the games, although they're not here.
Next, it's the kind of thing nightmares are made of. Asian giant hornets. That's right, also dubbed the murder hornet. Well, natives of Southeast Asia, they have now been spotted near the US-Canada border in the Pacific Northwest. They were first found in December by a homeowner. The menacing orange and black insects can grow up to 6 centimeters long. The concern is the devastating effects they can have on honeybee populations. Some reports say the hornets have the ability to decapitate 40 honeybees per minute. Agriculture officials say that lethal capability could destroy entire hives and severely disrupt pollination, in turn affecting entire ecosystems, not to mention the danger they pose to humans.
Itself is fairly toxic and creates localized necrosis around the wound, so you'll see melting of flesh around the wound. If you sustain multiple stings, the necrosis and the venom will actually start getting into your bloodstream and will start working on your organs, and multiple stings could literally be fatal and have been fatal.
Agriculture officials in Washington state are asking people not to deal with the hornets themselves and instead file a report if they see them. So far, there have been hundreds of sightings. It's not clear how the hornets made their migration, but scientists say they could have stowed away on a container ship that docked at one of Washington's ports. And just before we go, here's a reminder, don't forget to listen to our sister network, CNA 938, when you're on the move for the very latest of COVID-19. You can also stream CNA's radio station via cna.asia and the Me Listen app as well. And that's it from us on Asia Now. You can also find us on all the socials, cna.asia, Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. Stay tuned for the headlines up next.
Is this China's next leap forward? An astonishing window into a vanished world.
to the inevitable march of time. Meet the people that are transforming the Indonesian way of life.
Every day, the financial world goes through dramatic rise and falls. We'll track the biggest market moves and show you where the opportunities lie. Get the experts taking the performance of key indices. Plus all the analysis to help you understand forces driving global economies. The daily business news you need. Only on CNA. This segment is brought to you by Xeon Corporation.
Measures. Certain businesses like fitness centers and beauty parlors will be allowed to reopen, and a maximum of 8 people can now gather instead of 4. Primary and secondary school students will also be allowed to return to school, but this will be staggered.